Hey everyone! SilverHyena here. Please be sure to check out part 1 of my Ohuhu Brush Marker blending tutorial. Okay, back to the video. There we go. That looks pretty nice so far, even though this is only phase 1. Now we've got to get all those other colors in there because, well, it would look a little silly just like this by itself, wouldn't it? Okay, I'm gonna work on the lighter tones. Like face there, the other half of his face, the midsection, and all of that. And for that, I was gonna use these. I was only gonna use these 3 colors, but I'm probably gonna go over it multiple times. So we've got Cool Gray. I think that's Cool Gray 2-0, but I'm not. Okay, yeah, that looks like Cool Gray 2-0, which is very, very light. We've got Warm Gray 01, which kind of has a bit more of a brown. And then there is Mauve Shadow, which I thought a little bit of purple for shading. I actually really like using purple for shading white or very light colors. I just do. I just do. So, excuse me. Let's get started. It's like I really want to get in his, I'm not quite sure if I'd call those eyebrows, eye ridges, but the lighter color over the eye. I really want to get that blended in. And that blue color erase pencil that I had used earlier. Okay, well, like I used blue and black for this portion. But I love the way how the alcohol ink will kind of melt that pigment in. I just love it. So once again, it's similar to what I did with the first layer, which is just get it colored in. It's not always going to look the fanciest, but the first layer never is. Not usually. Trying to blend in that blue into here. There we go, looking good so far. Oh, no, I'm not sure what happened. The alcohol-based markers smeared. These aren't supposed to smear after they've dried for a while. Ah! Okay, but do not panic. Do not panic. Luckily, that is in an area I was gonna shade anyway. Remember, no mistakes, happy accidents. Try to think happy accidents. As that most wonderful of artists and human beings, Bob Ross, once said, no mistakes, just happy accidents. So is that a happy little ink smear? Gosh, I hope so. key is to not panic, even though I am very kind of high-strung and prone to freaking out. Let's just try not to do that. Let's just try to work with it. Because sometimes you can conceal or even make a smudge like that work with you. And there's still more layers to do. Okay, so that helped out a little bit. I know that you can still see it, but we're gonna work this out. Gonna work this out. You're not going to panic. You're not gonna panic. Certainly not gonna panic. Okay, so far so good. Everything looks to be blending nice. I'm still not entirely happy about that little smudge there, but I'll see if I can work it out a bit later. I want to move on to some other spots. Sometimes you just gotta let something sit for a while and come back to it later. As stated in some of my previous videos, in which I talk about and review Ohuhu Brush Markers, there are only two things that I dislike about them. One, there are no official Ohuhu marker refills. Now, I've heard of some people using Copic ink refills, but I have not tried this for myself. However, at this point, I'd say attempt at your own risk. However, since I haven't done it and I personally wouldn't recommend it just because it's cross-contamination brand, if that's a thing. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I've heard of other people doing. And number two, you can't buy open stock. Ohuhu, if you see this, please, I ask of you, as a serious fan of your products, please start carrying open stock individual markers. As of the time of creating this video, if you run out of a certain color, you'll have to buy a whole new set just to get the 1 or 2 colors you need to replace. Other than those two little issues, these markers are amazing, especially if you aren't quite ready to sink hundreds, if not probably thousands, on Copics yet. Even the 120 set of Ohuhu brush markers are going for almost $100 plus tax and shipping on Amazon, at least at the time of recording this video. But still though, 120 markers for $100? That's under $1 per marker, which is pretty dang good if you ask me. Another thing, please let me know what you think of this style of video with more real-time footage. Is it helpful or too drawn out? Your feedback will not only help me, but help you, my viewers. By providing your 2 cents, you'll help me create better content for you in the future. What are your opinions on brush markers as a whole? The flexible tips take some getting used to, but once you get the hang of it, it's kinda hard to go back. I just love the blending capabilities. So buttery smooth. Just remember, it can be tempting to keep layering and layering, but it is possible to overwork your piece. My general rule is to keep it to no more than 10 layers, and even then, depending on your paper, that may be too much. If you're uncertain, test out how many layers you can use on a scrap piece of your preferred marker paper. That's the safest way to really push the limits and see Okay, how much can this paper really take? You know, before you do it on your final piece, ruin it, cry for a while. Yep, been there. I speak from experience. Also, whenever you get a new set of markers or colored pencils, pens, paints, or whatever, always swatch those bad boys out. The colors on the caps and packages, etc., are not always true. I cannot stress this enough. Swatch out your materials. necessarily an absolute must-have, some white pens are a good investment to use in conjunction with Ohuhu Brush Markers, or any markers or ink for that matter. I like the transparency of the white Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen for more subtle highlights. Now for more in-your-face highlights, that's where a white Uniball gel pen comes into play. Seriously, a great investment. Alright, here we are. All done. And as you can see, once you're done with all of the brush pen itself, just a little bit of white really helps make it pop. Just a little bit of white. You don't want to overdo it. Just remember that. You can overdo the white. I know from experience. It's not my proudest moment, but it is a teachable one. Anyways, brush markers. They might be a little bit intimidating at first, but honestly, these have quickly become one of my absolute favorite mediums, possibly even my absolute favorite at this moment. My absolute favorite is always subject to change because you never know what's going to come along, but honestly, these things are amazing. I certainly hope that you all enjoyed this video. I really hope that this video helped you in some way. Go ahead and try out these techniques. While these techniques will also somewhat work with your standard markers with the bullet tips. Hang on one second. You can use a lot of these similar techniques with the bullet tip as well. However, there is something different about using the more flexible brush tip, so just be aware. Please be sure to leave a like on this video, especially if it helped you, or of course just to be nice. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you would like to see more art tutorials, please let me know in the comments below. I am still very, very new to creating tutorials. However, any feedback is much appreciated. Anyways, this is SilverHyena signing off, and I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay creative, everybody. And again, let me know if my techniques have helped you improve your own art. Until then, bye!